When you have over 100 Smash Bros. Stages in one game, there's no way all of them can be masterpieces. And trust me, this list was very hard to narrow down. There's a lot of stinkers, unfortunately. I'm basing my list off stages that are just downright not fun to play on, as well as those with any terrible gimmicks and stage layouts. So without further ado, let's go. You know there's a lot of crappy stages when a top 10 like this starts with Mario Bros. This stage was horrible in Brawl. Now it has been updated a little bit for Smash Bros. Ultimate, but not enough to save it. The biggest change is you can walk from side to side now, making Mario Bros. At least 4.67% more playable. But even then, this stage just doesn't work. The ceilings are all way too close to each other, so it's easy to get bonked around and lose total control. On top of the stage's enemies hurting you. That's right, the shell creepers and sidesteppers will hurt you if you don't flip them over. And there's a nice little PAL block you can hit that makes players bounce around the stage even more. And oh man, you can't forget about the random flames that pop in every now and then, because this stage wasn't uncontrollable enough already. Now, being able to use these classic enemies as weapons is a cool idea. And admittedly, it is fun if you're with a group of friends at 3 in the morning completely wasted, not caring about anything in the world. I've never experienced that myself, but I bet at least a few people have. But look, even then, there's so many better options out there. Like, no one just says, yeah, you know what, I'm kind of feeling like playing Mario Bros. Today. That doesn't happen. This stage isn't spelled correctly. It says Norfair when it's really supposed to say not fair because there's so much stupid crap that happens. Now look, I do enjoy some of the older Metroid stages where the lava would occasionally rise up above the ground and you'd have to avoid it. I think that's fine because it didn't affect gameplay too harshly. But then we got this defect. This stage goes way too overboard with the hazards. You've got rising lava walls that pop in on the sides, lava sprinkles from the background, and a giant lava wave that you can't avoid unless you get inside this tiny capsule. Now, like the Mario Bros. Stage, I think in some circumstances this stage can be fun to play on if you're just memeing around, and that's because the platforms are at least set up in a way that are fun and easy to use. But the lava gets in your way like every 5 seconds, like you don't get a break from it. You cannot escape it. It will consume your life, your soul, your meaning, your existence. Unless you choose not to play on it, then you should be okay. I remember being a scrawny little kid and always imagining how cool it would be if World 1-1 from Super Mario Bros. Was a Smash Bros. Stage, and lo and behold, it actually happened! But even in the Brawl days, I knew it was a heaping pile of trash, and for some reason, Mushroomy Kingdom has returned once more for Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well, okay, I'm not that surprised this is back because it is a very iconic level, but it's just so grim looking. I am really glad they did change the art style, but I don't think it was for the better. This is in the wrong direction. Even with the updated textures, the kingdom just looks dead. There's no colors. It just feels out of place for something that's Mario themed. And guess what? They took out the 1-2 stage. You can no longer play that in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, they actually did this with Smash for 3DS too, which is understandable, but why this game? I mean, yeah, it wasn't that fun to play on, but it just feels strange to have that gutted out too. But why is the stage so bad? Well, I'm sure you know, it's a scrolling stage, and it scrolls too fast. Golden Plains works because the scrolling is very minimal and happens at certain increments. For Mushroomy Kingdom, you have to deal with it the whole time. And there's so many pits you can get knocked into, and the scaling feels too small as it's so easy to get stuck on the blocks. I really wish I could like this stage, but I just never have and probably never will. Seriously? Why is this stage back? Does anyone actually like Hannonbow? I mean, its only quality here is the art design. It's one of the most unique looking levels in the entire game, and it's cool for that merit, but playing this is just miserable. Every platform you can stand on is a leaf, and when you hit the leaf, it moves. Because of this, it's almost impossible to plan out attacks because the damn platforms keep changing angles and directions, and then at the bottom you got this random leaf that's just kind of chilling out there. Why? Why is there a leaf there? Oh, is it to save you from the water that you can't swim in? Yeah, that's right. You can't even swim in the water. It's just there to fool you and make you think you'll be okay if you're falling to the ground. I mean, look, I appreciate that the developers went out of their way to create truly innovative stages to make each one feel different from one another. But at some point, you gotta play test the stage and realize that it's just not fun. And to think we're not even halfway through this list yet, oh, we're already digging deep into this garbage. So I can see people not agreeing with me here, but I have never liked Kalos Pokemon League. It tries to be the next and best Pokemon Stadium, but just fails miserably at that. I will say, like a lot of these other stages, that visually it's stunning. The stained glass in this giant hall is truly quite the spectacle, but here's where the problems begin. Like Pokemon Stadium, the stage will change in layout, but it does so in the worst ways possible. First, we got the Dragon Mark Chamber. Basically, there's a giant dragon statue that breathes fire on the stage. Thankfully, his fire isn't that big a deal, it only gets in the way every once in a while. But then there's the Blazing Chamber. This section features giant walls of fire everywhere, and touching them knocks you all around. It's so easy to die simply because of these stupid firewalls. They're almost impossible to avoid. And then there's the Ironworks Chamber, in which two swords stab into the ground. And for some reason, a puddle of metallic liquid spawns in the middle, making your character metal. I guess the swords are like melting into the stage? But that doesn't even make sense because the swords later on fly back out of the platform. And finally, there's the Flood Chamber, which adds a few platforms, but then suddenly there's a huge surge of water that rushes in, and if you make contact with it, you're probably gonna die. We're getting to the point where the stage gimmicks aren't goofy fun anymore, they're just a pain in the hiney to put up with. Pokemon Stadium works because all that changed was the stage layout. There wasn't fire, or swords, or water to worry about. If all these effects were just in the background, then maybe this could have topped Pokemon Stadium, but that's just not the case. Here's the thing with Palutena's Temple. I feel like there's a lot of good things going for it. I mean, for one, Palutena's Guidance happens on this stage, which is pretty cool, and the level design is okay, but why in God's name is this stage so big? They could have literally taken this stage, split it into 3 or 4 parts, and boom, they would have made 3 or 4 great stages. But instead, it's all poorly knitted together into a jumbled up mess. And believe it or not, the stage gets even bigger at some points. This other floating island comes in at the top left corner. Like, what were they thinking? I get that this stage was built for 8-player Smash, but as someone that has a 49-inch TV screen, I can't for the life of me tell what's going on when playing this. Imagine trying to watch 10 YouTube videos at once. That's what this stage is kind of like. It's too much information. And it's not even that well designed. If you have springs to launch yourself from one place to the other, that signals there's a core problem with the stage itself. And what's with all these random spikes smack dab in the middle of the fight? Is the stage trying to annoy me? I think it is. And here we've got a very similar stage, New Pork City. The amount of detail in the background is quite extravagant. You could look at it for hours and still not find every nook and cranny. But my god, this is another stage that tries to replicate Temple and completely fails at that. While it's not as big as Palutena's Temple, the stage layout is a lot worse and less fun. A lot of the platforms are too small and generally hover close to the blast zone, so most people avoid that and fight near the bottom. But what's on the bottom, you ask? Oh, just this giant wooden board that breaks after getting damaged enough. Oh yeah, that's real great. Let's just have one of the few playable parts of the stage just break on you. And then you got the ultimate Chimera that pops in every so often. Thankfully, he doesn't tend to get in the way of fighting, but if you do touch him, you're gonna have a bad time. This is one of the few stages that I only enjoy looking at, but not actually playing on. For the third time now, 75M makes its Untriumph appearance, and it actually sucks even more. How they pulled that off is some kind of sour miracle, but let's get into it. I mean, just look at it. Would you actually want to fight on this mess? Every platform is tiny, it's easy to get stuck on the ladders since you cling onto them when attacking now, and the only big platform has Donkey Kong throwing jacks on it, which gives crazy knockback and damage. 25M would have been a much smarter stage to add if you wanted to include an iconic stage. It would have been way better than this crap. And you know what's funny? This stage could actually be okay if it had one thing: solid ground. All it needs is one layer of solid ground at the very bottom, and it would have made 75M an immensely more fun playing experience. And I know this because I recently played a hack of this stage in Smash Bros. 64 that did just that, and it was actually kind of fun. Now that'll never happen because this stage has to be authentic or whatever, but just think about it for Smash 6 when you inevitably bring it back yet again. I thought Mushroomy Kingdom was bad. Oh man, I did not see what was coming until I tried PAC-LAND. And for some reason the name is in all caps. I guess it's trying to scream how innovative this stage is, I don't know. Because instead of getting the cool Pac-Man stage on the 3DS, we get this. A stage nobody likes. So as you can see, it's a scrolling stage, but it seems to scroll slightly faster than Mushroomy Kingdom does, which means it's slightly more aggravating. The big problem is all the hazards this stage offers. You got fire hydrants blowing water pellets in your face, water you can't swim in, water spurts, tons of pits, logs that fall, escalator-like platforms, Lord have mercy, gee! The only saving grace is the art style, I guess. It looks okay, I suppose, but at least it's different. That's the only good thing I can say about this. I just don't get why we didn't get the 3DS Pac-Man stage. That one makes way more sense to bring back than this one. But despite how trash PAC-LAND is, there's a stage that's even worse. Oh my god. The Great Cave Offensive. Yeah, that's right. I am pretty offended by this crapshoot. It's either the size of Palytana's temple or possibly even bigger. I mean, look at it. This does not look like a stage. This is something that you would find in the Subspace Emissary. You know, one of the platforming levels. Why is this so godforsaken big? And why is every path so narrow? Do you realize how long it takes to go from the top to the bottom? I timed it. It takes 15 seconds. Okay, I'm just pulling a number out of my ass. But seriously, it takes way too long just to go from one side of the stage to the other. And then there's this random minecart that you can just jump in. Like, why is there a freaking minecart in this stage? Again, that would work with something like the Subspace Emissary, but not this. And of course, there's spikes on the walls and even a freaking cannon. What the heck? But here's the icing on this sundae. This stage is so bad that there needed to be an artificial way to die. Otherwise, stock matches would last for hours considering dying from the ceiling is a rarity. If you touch the lava at 100%, it automatically kills you. That's right, the stage is so bad that they had to manually program this feature in to make the stage playable, and I use that phrase very, very lightly. Now that I really think about it, I almost feel like this stage could have been what is a tiny piece of Subspace Emissary 2, but then Sakurai canned the project because he didn't want cutscenes to get leaked online. Maybe that's what this is. I mean, I almost wouldn't be surprised. But okay, I'm done complaining. If you'd like to check out my list on my favorite Smash Bros. Ultimate stages, you can do so right now. Thanks a bunch for watching, everyone. I'll catch you guys in the next video.